right. Hey,
We're back.
we are back. Welcome back to Liberty Bank Podcast. Let's get financially fit. We are here at the Financial Spot, powered by Liberty Bank. And today we are talking about a very important subject, budgeting and saving. And I am here with, I call her the queen, but she want to be the princess of budgeting, Maria Newman. She is our a banking officer here. She's very knowledgeable about budgets and helping people save money and the importance of saving and budgeting. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself and just give us a little background information.
Absolutely. Hi, I am Maria A. Newman Career. I'm your business development manager as well as banking officer at Liberty Bank and Trust. And so, our topic today is budgeting and savings. And I really feel like during these times, economically, the holidays are upon us. I really think this is a good subject that everyone get your pen and paper out, honey. We're going to drop some knowledge for y'all today, okay?
So what exactly is a budget and what exactly is a budget?
Right. So a budget is a guide to keep you on the path to reach your financial goals, right? And so why this is important for your financial well-being, think of it as like the times when you wake up and you need to meditate or you need a little coffee in your life, right? It becomes a habit and you just really need to understand where your money is going, how you're saving your money, what can you cut back on, what might be a need. And we're going to go through all of that because there's short-term budgeting, there's medium-term budgeting, and there's long-term budgeting. So I don't want to skip a beat, but I just kind of want to give y'all a little hint of what's to come in this conversation.
So, for me, I feel like budgeting and saving is like a area of opportunity for me to improve because I feel like every time I get money, it's gone. Like I always have something I have to spend or buy or do. So, how can people create a efficient budget and savings plan?
Well, first off, I think you need to ask yourself some 4 basic questions, right? So the first question would be, where does my money go? That's one that you need to ask yourself. Is there a way to spend less? That's number 2, right? How will I handle unexpected expenses is number 3. And then the 4th one is, how can putting money in a savings help? If you can answer those questions, I think that's the start, right? Because everything, especially during this lifetime that you have, is about sacrificing. So you have to figure out short-term, medium, long-term, what is important to you. So if like Brooks, you're a mom with kids, right? So you really have to sit down and do a budget, girl, because once again, with kids, there's things they want to do, whether it's extracurricular activity, whether it's they need an outfit for something, whether it's food, all of those things. That's why it's important for you to sit down and really look and budget. And that's why we want this to become a habit for you guys. That's why we call it getting financially fit, because it is something that you need to do on a daily basis so you can truly understand where your money is going.
So what are some tips to understand where your money is going, the income that you have coming in, and the expenses that we all have? And I feel like my expenses are more than my income. So what are some tips that people could use? Because I feel like a lot of people feels like that, especially with the economy, inflation. It's like you never have enough money. So give us some tips too.
Yeah. So it's important to, just do a budgeting journal, right? So what that does is take a little time out every day, 5 to 10 minutes, and just write down daily what you're spending your monies on, right? And then from there, if you can do that for about 30 days, at the end of the 30 days, you'll see wow, did I really just go to Starbucks, right? So let's just say you're spending $20 a week, $20 times 4 weeks, that's $80. Could that $80 have gone to something else, right? Does it make more sense to do hot tea or coffee at your house? and then take any extra money and just put it in a savings. It's little things like that I think is important when it comes to budgeting. So that's just like one little hint. Another little hint is getting in the habit of every paycheck, what do you want to pull out? $20 every 2 weeks? $25, $50, $100. It's those little things. And if you can put it someplace where you can't necessarily get to it and really create an emergency fund, just see how that goes after about 6 months. It's little sacrifices that really do go a long way.
Right. And you mentioned saving, putting money in savings. So what is where Christmas and holidays and everything is upon us. So what's the significance of like saving money and putting money aside?
Well, that's why whenever sometimes you look at the news, that's why they're always talking about budgeting, because they know, the people who run the stores know how much you're going to spend, or they have a projection of what you're going to spend. Like Brooks, like you have 3 kids, right?
Yeah, 4 kids.
Oh, girl.
Yeah.
4. Oh, Lord, I forgot. How can I forget about my baby boy? Sorry. Ooh. If you have 4 kids, at this point, you need to be saying to yourself, what is going to be my budget per kid, right? So if you say it's going to be $150, then that's what it is. I have no more money to spend, because what you don't want to do is hit that emergency fund that you've been working hard for, and or any savings, other savings, because there's things that might be coming up in the following year. So, life is going to happen with you in it or with you not in it. So we just got to be mindful of, that's why it's important to save and budget.
Especially with kids, because like my oldest is 14 and she wants to decorate the house for Christmas. And I was like, all right, I'm going to give you a $200 budget to go and pick out whatever, you want. She said, $200? I can't buy nothing with $200. I said, well, let's start with $200 and you figure out how you could stay within that budget. And because if I'm not here, you still got to know how to budget and manage whatever money you have. So
exactly,
when looking at like short-term and long-term savings goals, what's the difference between the two?
Okay, so a short-term goal, think about it this way, and this is just an example, right? So for students, a short-term goal for students might be homecoming. So I get to school in August. Homecoming is taking place around September, October, November. Okay, I want to buy this, and this because I need to have these looks. Well, they can do a short-term budget because it is going to be important for them, to go to Forever 21 or wherever they shop these days, right? But that's a good short-term, budget, right? Another one would be travel for the holidays. That come December, when New Year's Eve is going to fall. So the key to all of this is, okay, I have so many months to save up. I want to go and I want to take a trip someplace. Those are short-term goals. You mentioned long-term, but let's talk about medium-term. Medium-term is, we know that technology, since she has this lovely laptop sitting here, technology is ever-changing, right? So sometimes you might need to upgrade your computer. That's a medium-term goal. It might take you a year, it might take you a year and a half. So it's important that you understand your goals, or, your needs versus your wants, and you kind of set your budget up that way, and then being able to pull out monies and put it on the side for that. Your long-term goal is when you're truly thinking about, it's just funny, I happen to be talking to a senior this morning. She's graduating in marketing, and we're going to talk to her about possibly, student loans. That's a long-term goal. Whether she stays here in New Orleans or goes back to New York, what does that look like? Does she want to invest? Rent versus buy. Another long-term goal that I wish somebody told me back in the day when I was a senior is actually setting up your retirement. That's a long-term goal, right? Because the thing is, jobs, look for your 401k, but you setting up a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA is really key to having monies when it comes time for that day and time to come, you need to retire. You've also set up a little nest egg for you and your family. So it's those little things that people need to think
and even
about.
if you put just like $50, $100 a month into a retirement account,
Mm-hmm.
and you're young, you're 22, over time it's still gonna grow and be beneficial to you. So
Yeah.
um
Mm-hmm.
so you mentioned about technology and
Mm-hmm.
everybody being on their phone. I have to have my laptop everywhere. This is my life.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some strategies to automate and make it just easy for people to save and create their financial goals?
Here at Liberty Bank and Trust, we have online and mobile banking. And I can think about, one, two, three. I can think about three savings tools that we have here. We have the personal savings, which earns you 0.35% interest rates. We have the certificate of deposit, and then we have the traditional IRA.
Okay, so you mentioned certificate of deposit. What is a certificate of deposit? Because I know you go and you give your money, you deposit it, you get an interest rate, but I know it's like limited time limits or whatever. So just explain what what that is, and
All
do I
right.
get my money back, or how does that work?
So the cool thing about a certificate of deposit, it goes back to working with that plan that you might have, all right, or budgeting.
Yep.
So we have 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. We go up to 48 months for our certificate of deposit. And anybody who understands what I'm saying, they call it a CD. So that's what we have here. And with that being said, is what you do is you tie up your money for the term, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, and so on, right? The shorter the term, the higher the interest rate here at Liberty Bank and Trust. So what you do is, for example, and I did it myself, I took $5,000, and what I did was at the beginning of hurricane season, I put money on the side, and I did it for 3 months because I just wanted to, just in case, have money saved up. It's at a high interest rate. It's earning monies. And so at the end of my 3 months, which I just renewed a month ago, thanks to Miss Joe. Hey, Miss Joe, we miss you. All right, we'll talk about her later. So what happened was I saved. So when it came time to renew my certificate of deposit, I told Miss Joe, hey, leave my $5,000 in for another 3 months, but I took my interest and put it in my savings account.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So basically, from my personal savings versus having a certificate of deposit, I made about 3 times as much as I would if it was just sitting in a regular savings account. So the key to it all is the renewal. The key to it is really locking it up for a long term or short term, and just understanding that, hey, if I can do without this money for 3 months or 6 months, well, let me put it in a higher interest rate savings account, right, which is your certificate of deposit, versus just sitting in a savings account and being able to access it and making up to 4 withdrawals a month, right?
Yeah.
So I made the decision to do 3 months. My husband and I took some money out of our joint account, and we made the decision to do for 12 months because next year is our 10-year anniversary.
Oh.
So we might do something big. I don't know. But it's things like that when you're talking about planning something. Okay, let me just lock this money up. Let me earn some nice interest on it. And then when it comes time to renew it, either I'm going to leave it in there. I can always shorten the term at renewal, or I can take the interest and still leave it in there for another 12 months and just do what I made with the money. So it's little things like that.
Yeah.
We have to understand.
I keep hearing you say planning. It's very important. You are so good at planning. Not me. I'd be like, oh shoot, it's December 1st and Christmas coming. I guess I need to
start buying.
Start shopping.
I already started.
So I think a lot of people don't know about certificate of deposits or CDs. So I hope y'all wrote that down, because that is a super helpful strategy and tool. If you know, like she said, next year we have a big event, an anniversary, birthday, trip, or something we want to do, let's put that money aside, let it earn you money, and then when it's time to go on that trip or whatever, you can take the interest and put it in a savings. So you made money on the trip you was planning.
Yep.
So cool.
Yeah.
So talking about, this is, I feel like, my part of the podcast where we're talking about savings challenges.
Okay. All right.
Because What are some common obstacles? I know what my obstacles are. I got, like we said, I have 4 children.
Mm-hmm.
I have a mortgage, that insurance going up,
Mm-hmm.
inflation,
Mm-hmm.
everything in the world happens, right? And so it's very hard to try to, every time I put money in savings, I feel like the next month I'm taking it out to
Mm-hmm.
spend it for something else. So what are some other like obstacles or challenges that you see with savings, and how can we overcome that? Help me, child. Help me.
I know. Let me help you help yourself. I got it. Dang. You know, it's all up to the individual. It really is. And I think we really have to take, sometimes we just have to look at the man in the mirror, a little older Michael Jackson.
So true.
Right? So we have to look at the man in the mirror and truly understand what our needs versus our wants is, right? You know, I might want a new Louis Vuitton bag, but I need to pay my electric bill. Let's keep it real.
That's right.
All right. So, but once you have that conversation with yourself, it's the same conversation that you have when you know, oh Lord, I got to wake up and start working out. Oh Lord, I got this headache, but I know I missed my coffee. You know, whatever it is that gets you through your day, budgeting and savings needs to be a part of it, because once again, life is going to happen with or without you. It is going to happen. The same way with time. Time is going to keep going. Time isn't stopping for no one. So I think what we need to do is take moments to ourselves, regroup, get financially fit, and just really think about the sacrifices. And guess what? It does not hurt you to have more than one savings tool, period. If you know, Brooks, you're going to dip into a savings. Okay, well, let's put a savings someplace else.
That I can't touch. That's
right.
what I tell my husband. It's like, because every time we get a little extra or whatever, I'm like, okay, I'm going to put it in the savings. He'd be like, don't spend it. I'm like, well, I need a savings that I can't just transfer
exactly
over, right? So
right.
That's, I know me, and so that's how we're
all right.
working on that.
And the key to that is that could be if you have extra money, and let's just say you have $1,000, the key to that is maybe you need to put it away in a certificate of deposit.
Yeah. That's a good, and that's another question I was going to ask you about certificate of deposit. Is there a minimum amount, like, or does it have to be
$1,000?
Okay, 1,000 is the minimum. Okay.
Yeah.
So
$1,000 or more. Look, he cut both
like,
of us over.
Like, oh well, I'm out. I'm out of the.
Damn, he come. We both did like this. What did you do? Why you did that? Damn, that was a good exchange. All right, we'll figure that part out. Okay, but so yeah, take your extra money and maybe you can look at doing right 3 months, 6 months, right?
Yeah.
And then the cool thing, remember, so that's the certificate of deposit has a minimum, but you know the savings account at least to start. It has, and you might want to put a savings account in, say, emergency fund only, right? And that has a minimum of, you start with $50, but if you put $200 in there, there won't be any service fee. So it's little things like that, I think, if you just think about, right? And so as we're talking about, you know, challenges and staying on track, there's, you know, 5 key points that I really want, you know, people to remember, or at least keep in the back of your mind.
Get y'all pen out.
Yep, here we go. Limit yourself to cash on hand. What that means is, I get that, you know, we are debit friendly, credit card friendly type of world, right? But sometimes if you put yourself on a budget and you say, you know what, I'm putting $100 in my pocket, this is going to be my spending, you know, for 2 weeks. Guess what? If you spend that $100, that's it. You broke. Right? So sometimes you need to limit yourself to the cash on hand, because it's so easy to swipe and you're no longer tracking how many times you swipe in a day for food and stuff. But if you using cash, you know, it's a little different because it is what it is, right? Then have a game plan. I think that's key. You got to have a game plan. You have to understand, what monies is coming in, what monies is going out, why it's going out, those things, right? Know your needs. It is very important to understand your needs, whether that's mortgage, rent, your utilities, tuition, whatever that looks like, just know your needs. Keep a reality check. The reality is, I can do this, but I can't do that. I get it. Back in the day, my parents used to tell me to keep up with the Joneses. Well, not everybody trying to keep up with the Kardashians. That was a shameless plug. Oh my God, please forgive me. I do look at reality television. But, sometimes you do need a reality check because sometimes you just got to tell people no. And then the last thing I'm going to leave you with is keep real friends in your circle, because real friends will understand when you say, I'm sorry, I can't afford to do that, or I can't join you today. Because sometimes people don't realize the undue pressure. If you just went on a trip and you spent, hundreds, thousands of dollars on a trip, and then people want to turn around and then the next day when they get back in town, go out for happy hour. Sometimes you need to take a break and just say, yeah, I didn't budget for that, right? So sometimes you just need to remember to keep real friends in your circle so that they truly understand you as a person, what your goals are, and they're going to be supportive when you're not there and when you're there.
And I also think, just to piggyback on that, not being ashamed or worried about talking about money and finances with your friends and your family, your significant other, because they love you and they're there to help you. One thing I have to get over is going to, my husband saying, all right, I shouldn't have bought this, but I bought it. Or when I, have a little extra money, like just giving it to him because he's much better with money than I am.
Yeah.
He'll live off of $50 for the week, and $50, I don't even see it. It comes in my hand and goes. So I think just knowing your strengths and weaknesses, and being okay with having a conversation with your loved ones, and honestly with your banker too, because we can, well, not we, Maria can help you, put that plan together. To put your money where it will benefit you and what you're trying to do. So.
And the philosophy of myself, along with, the team at Liberty, is that this is truly a partnership. Mm-hmm. Like, this is not, about us versus them. This is a true relationship. The same way that you get in a relationship with, your partner, significant other, we're looking at this as a banking relationship, right? So we want to grow with you. We want to see you succeed. If we need to lend you money, understand that it's a partnership, and that all we want to make sure is that you can pay us back. That's it.
Yeah.
We don't want to take anything from you, because your success is our success story. And that's what you need to understand when you're working with Liberty Bank and Trust. This is a real partnership and a chance to grow and, become the bright light that you need to be. I want you to shine bright like a diamond.
And
girl.
There's no judgment here. Like, you could go and not go and say, look, let me tell you what I got going on. And they'll say, all right, let's figure this out.
Yep.
And first, this is what you need to fix. And then we're going to put you on a plan to get to wherever you want to go. And speaking of your success being our success, we are very intentional about providing like resources and information to you to help you grow and reach your financial goals. So we just got in, well, not really just, we've been having a partnership with a company called Enrich, and it's a personal financial program that we have an online portal. So they have branded a Liberty Bank portal specifically for our customers and you don't have to be a customer, but for our
viewing audience
to go and, what am I saying? So it's a personal finance program, and will help you develop what your financial goals are, it will give you the tools that you need to reach the goals. So you do have to enroll in it. It's free. So the website is libertybank.enrich, ENRICH.org. You go there, you create an account, and the first thing they're going to tell you to do is do a financial checkup. And in the checkup, it will assess your finances, be completely honest. It's, completely private. So we can't see what you're putting in there. So you look at what your finances are, and then in less than 5 minutes, they will give you the recommended tools, the content. There's courses, there's articles, webinars. So there's all kind of information in this portal, and it will suggest, based on what your answers are, what you should complete. And then they'll also send you reminders via email, which I love. They have a money personality quiz. Will tell you what your money personality is. Of course, my money personality is, if I want it, I'm gonna buy it, and
Your money personality about it. I want to spend.
Yeah, and worry about it later, right? But that's not good. So it's helping me fix that and figuring out what the root of that is. It also has like meditations. It has journaling.
Oh, good.
And just so you could get to the root of why you spend money like that, or why you don't spend money, like why you're scared to spend. Because some people, it's the other extreme where they don't spend no money, and they you gotta live a little bit too. So anyway, so that portal is libertybank.enrich.org, and go and sign up. It's a really great tool. I'm using it myself.
Good.
Yes, because clearly.
Do they have a spreadsheet too?
There is. Yes.
Oh, good.
So there is a cool budget spreadsheet where you can download. It's a free download, and you download it. You can put all your, expenses in with all the money, and then look at what money, your income, and then as compared to your expenses, and it'll help you budget out. Ooh. And it's a monthly, you could do it monthly. So
I love it.
I love it. It's a free, resources that Enrich has provided for us. And, and we just want to pass it on to you, because like Maria said, your success is our success. So if you are in a good financial spot, you can come You could come with us, and we can just, make it better and help you achieve whatever goals that you have in life. So I think that's the biggest takeaway from today, I think, is planning.
Yes.
Making sure you have a plan.
Yes.
You know what's coming up, like Christmas comes up every year, school comes up every year, graduations, birthdays, that comes up every year. So it's important, we're about to go into the new year. Sit down, look at your whole year, what you're trying to do for the year, what that's gonna cost, and put a plan together for how you're gonna do it. Another key takeaway is the CD. Like, I think that is a grossly underutilized tool for everyday people to, if you're similar to me, where you could put money aside and you can't touch it, and and then you can use it to reach those goals. And then signing up for this program with Enrich. I think it's, like I said, a great tool. Once you have your plan in place, you have your savings, and then you go through and have all of your tools and resources available to you through that portal. I think you're going to be in a great spot moving forward. So
I love it.
Anyway, so thank you again for listening, tuning in to our Let's Get Financially Fit podcast. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe so you can get alerted for the next one. And we'll see y'all next time.
Bye.